Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Xavier's Journey. We're a little late tonight, a little technical difficulty, but we're here. I have the pleasure having Miss Kimberly Newton. So, Kimberly, give us a little information, a little background of who is Kimberly.
Good evening. I am Kimberly Newton Walker. I'm a Southerner. I am born and raised in North Carolina. I moved to New York about 13 years ago when I met and married my husband. And that's how this all came about, the discussion we're going to have tonight, based on autism with our children of color.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when did you find God?
When did I find God?
At a tender age.
About around the age of 13.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that means you've been having God in your life all these years,
Oh,
dealing with
well, I
issues.
had him before, but he was real for me at around 13. You start to find yourself and figure out what's real and what's not. So, yeah, around 13.
Okay, great, great. So, basically tonight I wanted to ask you a few questions so people would know what is autism, what are the signs. So can you share a little information about your child's journey of with autism? Like, what was the signs that you found out?
Well, that's just the thing. You see, with autism, which is actually autism spectrum disorder, the children fall in different places on the spectrum. You have children that are low functioning and children that are high functioning, and um, there's not always a known sign. Most children that are severely autistic don't speak. They don't make eye contact. They're hard to potty train. They're kind of baby like, very childlike at whatever age. Charlie wasn't that. And that's why it was very hard to get her tested. And it was very hard to get a diagnosis for her because sometimes it's not always easy. People
Hmm.
tend to associate autism with Down syndrome or mild retardation, and there are no similarities in those whatsoever. It's simply autism is basically the way people interact with each other and how they learn. And children that are on the spectrum don't see things you and I see. One is two. Children that are on the spectrum don't see it the same. So it's sort of similar to like a dyslexia. But you
Okay.
have to really pay attention to your child. As a mother, I can tell you nobody thought that there was anything wrong with my daughter. My family was a little upset with me because they thought she was a normal kid,
Hmm.
and I knew different. So I kept pushing. I requested to have her tested. My pediatrician didn't even believe me because she just felt like, you're a first time mother. This happens. We understand. You're overprotective. But it wasn't that because she was hitting all her milestones. That was the problem. Charlie was
Right.
where she was supposed to be. I had them to come from Columbia University, and when they came, Charlie was 4, and they told me she was hitting her milestone. She was exactly where she was supposed to be for her own age.
Right.
But as she progressed, I guess around the age of 5 or 6, I noticed that other children could always come over and play with Charlie, but Charlie never wanted to go over and play with the other children.
Right.
So that's where it starts. You have to pay attention to your child. She's not sociable. So that was my first distinction. And I knew something was wrong. But
Right.
the worst thing about not knowing what's going on with your kid is you don't know how to help them. So not knowing that it was autism, I was basically stuck because it's like if you don't have the diagnosis, what do you ask for?
Right.
Once we actually got the diagnosis, then we went through schooling, which has been a real journey. For whatever the reason, where I live here in Harlem, New York City Board of Ed doesn't feel that Charlie needs anything. She doesn't
Right.
need any assistance because she can walk, she can talk, she can use a computer. She speaks effectively. But her disability with autism is in her learning. It's not in the everyday things that she does. And when you have a professional that tells you it's one thing, but DOE tells you something different, then you get into where you actually have to find the correct place for your child to be educated, which again is not easy. New York is a big city, but
Right.
there are not a lot of schools here for Charlie. There's several autism schools, but
Hmm.
they're not all the same.
Right.
Charlie has to have something that's called ABA therapy, which is applied behavior analysis. Most schools don't offer this.
Right.
DOE does not like to offer it. So what I ended up doing as a parent, I attained an attorney and I sued DOE. Charlie is now 12. I have sued them every single year since she's been in school.
So basically, you have to be your daughter's advocate.
Yeah, yeah. You have to advocate for your kid. I tell people all the time, we as brown people, I won't say black, we as brown people, sometimes we don't advocate for our children. And I think that's the worst thing in the world because if I hadn't paid attention or if I had just pushed it off, where would she be now?
Right. Right.
So you have to pay attention to your child and don't be afraid of, sometimes it's like saying the child has autism says something is wrong with the parent. Nothing could ever be further from the truth. It's
Right.
a disability. We all have disabilities. We just don't all get treated for them.
Right.
Everybody
So,
has a disability.
so let me ask you this: when she was born like a normal child.
Everything was that was the thing. Everything was normal for her. She hit all her milestones. That
Okay.
wasn't the issue, but there was something about as a mother, there was something when there's something about your child that's not the way that it should be. And
Mm-hmm.
there was something that I paid attention to that she did not have. She spoke effectively. Charlie was potty trained before she was a year old. She talked and not babbled, she talked.
Right.
And so that was another thing because it's like, she can speak. Yeah, she can speak. Charlie, yourself, she can do anything on a computer you or I can do.
Right.
But that's not where the autism lies. I mean, smart people are autistic. So that's
Right.
not, what I'm saying? One doesn't have anything to do with the other.
With other. Right.
It's a disability. And we don't know enough about it. I was diagnosed with systemic lupus after Charlie was born. And to my knowledge, a little bit of information that I have found out, I think it's 90% of women who have systemic lupus end up
Mm-hmm.
having children that have some form of autism.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what was the process like when your child was diagnosed with autism? How did you and the family get involved?
I was already, my husband was pissed.
He was pissed.
Yes. Because again, saying that the child has autism, are you saying something's wrong with the parent? And like I said, it's one doesn't have anything to do with the other. I was happy because at least, okay, it's autism. I know what it is. Now I can do something about it. This is the direction that I can take because when you
Right.
don't know,
Right.
what direction do you go in? So now I have a name for it. Now I know what I can do. I can go and I can talk to the schools. I can find out this. I can find out that. And that's when, the teachers were very honest with me, with
Mm-hmm.
Charlie. They would let me know, what, this is not the school where she belongs. This is not where she's going to benefit. We don't offer ABA therapy, but we'd be happy to help you find, a school that provides that methodology. Because they're different methodologies. They have ABA therapy. They have something called floor time. They have a school called Rebecca downtown that is absolutely awesome. Charlie was
Mm-hmm.
there for about a year, but their methodology does not work for her.
Right.
So it works for some, but it's a wonderful school, but it just didn't work for Charlie.
Right.
And they've always been very helpful in trying to find where she belongs. Finally, we just got this recent placement, thank God. And we've been looking for it for a while, but she has an ABA school and
Mm-hmm.
everything she does is based on ABA. So if she's doing math, it's ABA based. If she's doing reading, PE, whatever it is that she's doing through the school day is ABA based, which is what she needs. And I can tell a big difference.
Right. So let me ask you. So, um, the she's 12 now because I remember when I met y'all.
Yeah.
So basically, I would say from child to 12, what are the challenges that most regular children have from what she has? What's the
Charlie is an introvert. So she's not one to you have to really know her, know that something is wrong. And it's like pulling teeth that aren't loose.
like
Because
I'm
she
like
has,
when I met her? What happened?
yeah,
We just
yeah. Well, she clicked with you, Xavier. You were different. She doesn't do that for a lot of people. She has certain people that she clicks for, and other people it just don't click. So, but
no, I
I
know.
always say she picks her people.
Yes.
She picks her people, and I think God gave her that. That ain't got nothing to do with autism. God gave her that, And so, I don't ever try to force her on anybody. I don't push her, however she feels, because feelings are very important with those kids, because most of the time they're silent,
Right.
and the silence is not always good. So you have to question. She's not one of those kids who likes you to be in her space a lot, but sometimes I'm a little pushy because I'm like, how you doing, how you feeling? I'm fine, I'm okay. And that's not what that always means. But you have to know your kid to be able to get inside and know, okay, something's not right today or whatever have you. And then they also have poor eating habits. Their eating
Right.
habits are normally not what they should be. They're very, it's a texture thing with them. If it doesn't feel right in the mouth, it doesn't matter
They
what
don't
it
want
tastes
to eat
like.
it. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
We went through oatmeal for like forever, and then we ended up with different types of carrot snacks. There's stuff that most of us would normally eat, but it fit for her palate. So
You
she's
remember,
gotten
like,
a little bit
remember,
better.
remember the seafood,
Oh, she still loves seafood. She still loves
the
lobster.
lobster. She
Lobster.
bougie.
Very bougie. Very bougie. Her daddy did.
Yes, yes. Very special, and it's good. I
Yeah.
mean, but so the difference between her and someone else's child, they might, because I've seen some autism where children that they don't even, you have to be pampered. They have
Yeah.
to do everything for them
That's why
versus,
she's considered a high functioning autistic kid. Charlie
and
will
that's
be
probably why they didn't want to fight in school because she looks normal.
she does. Yeah. To everybody, she looks normal, and people still tell me, "I can't believe she. Are you sure she's autistic?" I'm positive. I'm
Yeah,
absolutely
and
positive.
she'll let you know
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
You're in my
yeah,
space.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Charlie will be able to, with this program. Charlie will be able to go to any college that she chooses. She'll be able to live life like you or I, because
So
she's,
basically, they teach her everything she
yeah,
needs to know to
yeah,
survive.
yeah. And
Okay.
Charles and I don't, we don't treat her special. We don't handle her with satin gloves. I've never made her feel like, because of her disability, you gotta. No, Charlie gets treated like a regular kid. When she was little and she was growing up and she did something wrong, she got spankings. She got
Hmm.
punished, because I don't think that you should, when you're raising a kid with a disability, you don't let the disability become a crutch.
Right.
So, discipline is necessary. Yes, she is spoiled, but she has had her number of spankings, trust me. So,
Like
because
the rest of us.
yeah, the world is not going to pamper her when Charles and I are no longer here. What's she going to do?
Right.
So she
It's
has to
true.
be able to stand on her own 2 feet and depend on her and God.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What are the support services have been helpful for your child or your family?
Jesus.
Learn, I mean, I know you said every year you had to go to court, find a lawyer, sue them, and then they have to give you the services
Yeah,
for her.
every year. Every year. I sued them for tuition. I sued them for her ADA, and I sued them for busing, because it's not like a one shot deal. And we go through the same thing every year. Nothing changes. It's the same every year.
Wow.
So, my attorney told me, when she was 6, that I would have to do this every year. And I really thought she was joking, because you would think by now she's 12 years old. She's been in the school system this long and nothing has changed. Why they expected to change, I don't know.
So when she moved to another grade, you have to go back to court and take them to court again?
Every year. Her
Jeez.
tuition is based by the year. January, February, March, April. April, May is coming up, so that'll go into a new school year. I'll have to sue them again.
And you would think that they would change their ways and said, okay, let's do something. Because now I see the mayor trying to do and the governor trying to do things for people that have mental health
Yeah,
or
and they
autism.
should. They
And they
should.
should have done this a long time ago.
A long time ago, because and the thing that's crazy is, it's not that DOE can't afford it. What I was told is not that they can't afford it, but the thing about DOE, their attorneys are designed to make sure New York City doesn't spend any more money than it has to.
Right.
So it's not even about my child.
It's
So
about
I
the
don't,
money.
I don't take it personal.
It's about the money.
It's about the money, but they just know, as long as I got breath in my body and my last name say Newton Walker, I'm gonna do what I got to do every year, because I only ask them for what Charlie is entitled to, and that's an education. They
Right.
said this is what she's entitled to, so I expect them to pay for it.
So for regular kids that go to school, it's supposed to be free schooling, and they have to pay you money. No, no, for her schooling, they have to pay for
Yeah.
special teachers and
Yes.
special.
It's a special
Oh,
school. I would not have a problem. That was the argument recently when the attorney for Department of Ed asked me, "You've never had Charlie in a public school?" I'm like, I would not have a problem putting Charlie in a public school as long as you provide her with the ABA therapy that's required by
right,
a neurologist. I mean, this is not me saying this. I have a neurologist that is one of the best. She's number two in New York City. Okay.
right,
She's been diagnosed in autism for the past 30 years.
right,
So it's not like this is coming from me. I have a professional diagnosis. This lady has spent 3 days with my daughter. She wrote a 30-page report and turned it into DOE stating this is why she needs the ABA therapy for the type of autism that she has. And you
right,
all are looking at me just like, okay, well, you don't want to do what we're asking. So well, normally what they do, they send me a school, they send me a public school, and my husband and I go and visit. And when we walk in the door and they talk to Charlie, they said, Mrs. Walker, there's nothing we can do for her here.
wow,
But because they give it to me, I have to go because if I don't go, then DOE says, oh, you didn't play by the rules and regulations that, we go by. So I go wherever they send me. I don't ever
so
refuse.
usually the principal would meet you there when you go,
The
and
principal meets me and a social worker or either a social worker because the public schools, no public school in New York City offers ABA therapy. Can they do it? Yes. Matter of fact, it would actually be cheaper for them to put Charlie in public school and give her an ABA therapist. But for whatever the reason, they choose not to. And I'm
wow,
like, hey,
well, that's crazy.
yeah, it's very crazy.
So they have Down syndrome students, and they
Mhm.
get, because when I used to work for United Cerebral Palsy, they had Down syndrome, different levels of
Right?
Down syndrome, and they had we used to go to the Bronx. They had a workshop where they would learn how to do the simple things, the
Yeah,
daily chores.
yeah.
It's not the same. It's
Well,
similar like that.
no, it's not. It's not the same for autism. Um, Depending on where your child falls on the spectrum, because remember, every child is not high functioning. You have some children that are going to be home for the rest of their lives, and the parents know it. But
Right,
they can be helped too. You don't have to just say because the child can't talk, because a lot of autistic kids are born not talking, and depending on the programs that their parents allow them to participate in, they learn to talk. So
right.
it doesn't have to be that way. It just depends on how hard you fight for your child and with diagnosis, because this is a lot. And I mean, you get tired of hearing the same thing all the time, but you have to advocate for your kid. I mean, I kept being told, well, we don't have another school for Charlie, and we don't this and we don't that, because there are actually only two schools in New York that are for Charlie. One is the one where she's at now, and there's another one called Titus.
Hmm.
These schools are very expensive, but the reason they're so expensive is because you can't get it anyplace else
Right.
for what she needs. As I stated, there are several autism schools in New York, but all of them don't offer the programs of which she's required to have.
Because they probably have low function autism
Right.
on the
And see,
spectrum.
Charlie's not one of those kids. Earlier on, we learned you can't put her when she was little, 5, and I sent her way off upstate to Mount Kisco.
Wow.
The teacher let me know. Yeah, I sent my little baby off to Mount Kisco. I didn't even know where Mount Kisco was. I was very uncomfortable. But DOE said, look, this is what we found. This is where we're going to send her. So I'm like, okay. And the lady called me a week. Charlie had been there for a week. And she said, listen, she says, don't take this the wrong way. She says, I have to teach Charlie. She says, I've written a curriculum. She said, because she's not the type of kid you can give a toy and put in a corner.
Right.
Charlie wanted to learn at an early age. So the fact that she told me that let me know that I was going to have to fight for her education. And I don't have a problem with it. Charlie reads now. Charlie does math. Math is her favorite subject. We took a little hit when COVID came because she was out of school for 2 years with COVID.
And that was hard for her to
It,
learn from the computer.
she hated it. She couldn't stand it. And I mean, but I kept pushing. I kept pushing. Charlie, you got to read. Charlie, you got to do math. I do little worksheets or whatever. Because you do what you got to do as a parent. And she kept saying, Mommy, why can't I go to school? Everybody else goes to school except me because she sees the kids in the buses. She's like, but Mommy, they got a school over there. And she didn't understand, Charlie, you can't go to a regular school.
Right,
But
right,
she's cool, that's unique, like you do. You know, I always tell her she's unique. I never tell her that she's autistic or that she has autism or
right,
disability. I just tell her that she's unique, which is, in all actuality, it's true.
right.
Yeah.
So, how is her ability when it comes to music?
Oh, she loves music, and
That was always her thing.
she loves all genres. It's not just R&B or hip hop. No, she loves country. She loves soul music. She loves classical music. Charlie just loves music.
Did you let her hear what I sent you the other day for her? That house
Yeah,
music.
she like that. She
See,
like
I
she
told
loves
you.
house music. Oh yeah, she loves house music. That's the thing. To be doctor, because she's got the music channels on her TV, and you walk in there and you hear Shania Twain, and you, but hey, that's what she likes. So she like what she likes. So yeah, but she has, her likes. She loves animals. You know, she has Theo, that famous bunny of hers given to her by her uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and Theo has been very therapeutic for her because when she's down, he comforts her. He
So,
can.
explain to people what the rabbit does for kids with autism, please.
Theo is a Netherlands dwarf. He's specially bred to be in the home, not to be outside. He is not a wild bunny. And he's bred to be also a therapeutic animal for children with special needs. When we got him for Charlie, he tends to soothe and comfort whenever she's not in a good mood or when she's having a rough day. He knows, he wears it, he can sense it. They
Right.
are very close. I started him out sleeping in a cage. I don't know why I wasted my money on the cage because he now sleeps in the bed. He's very low maintenance. Feeding him and care is not an issue. I had him at the vet one time recently, Xavier. It was for something. He fell on something and he had a little spot on his back, and I was freaking out. Couldn't tell what it was. But I took him in. First time he's ever been to the vet. So in 7 years, he's never been sick.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So he's real special to her. I'm glad that she has him. But
So,
he doesn't
so let me ask you this: so all children like Charlie has to get a rabbit, or it can
no,
be
they
a
don't
dog.
have to get anything. But my brother felt that she needed something. She needed, and he felt an animal, and he was trying to go with a gerbil, and I'm like, not in my house.
That's like a
So
rat. That's like
yeah,
a rat.
me and Charlie had a conversation because her and her uncle are very close, and he said if Uncle Taj was going to get you something, what would it be? She says, Uncle Taj, I want a bunny rabbit. And I was flabbergasted because he called me on a Monday and he says, listen, I need you to call this lady and see how you can pick out a bunny for Charlie. I said, a stuffed bunny? He said, no, a real, but she wants a real one. And I'm
Right.
like, we didn't have this conversation. He said, no, I had the conversation with her. He says, I'm going and pick him up Thursday. He says, I'll be in New York Friday morning. And lo and behold, my brother, being who he is, God, I love him. He followed through.
That's good. That's
And
good.
he's been
And
here
it's
ever
and it's
since.
and it's good that you have the family support
Yeah,
from siblings
yeah,
because and they love her because
they
she's
do.
very special.
Charlie's
And
very devastated.
you never know as she get older she might become an advocate.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope she will advocate for people that like her. That would be awesome.
That'll be very awesome. So
Yeah.
let me ask you two more questions, and I'm we're gonna if we want to elaborate some more, but it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I get all the good questions out. So number eight was how has your child autism affect your daily routine, the family life?
A lot. Because again, when you have a child, high functioning or not, their mood swings are from day to day, sometimes from moment to moment. When now she's 12, so she's going into teenagehood. So those
Hmm.
hormones are raging, and she feels some kind of way, and she can't explain how she feels. So today she's happy. By the time she wakes up in the morning, she may be sad again. And I mean, they tend to be very moody. They are very, very moody, and you
Do,
just have to know how to go along with the mood swings. But you can't let the mood swing change you. You can't. I don't pamper her. I like to know what's wrong and how she's feeling. And I'll reiterate, well, I understand you feel this way, but we have something to do today. Like if she's going to school, something, I mean, I feel some kind of way, or, I don't like today. Okay, that's fine. And you're entitled to that. You don't
right.
have to like it because nobody likes everything every day. I mean,
No.
she's different. But I
Do
say,
you
look,
Do you have like sex talk with her, like puberty talk, because she's
Yeah,
going through that stage?
she was very. We started talking to Charlie about sex at 10 because she had questions, and I'm one of those parents. I'd rather her get the truth from me. She wanted to know about penises. She wanted to know where the baby came from. Did it come from the vagina or the penis? So yeah, we've had those conversations. We've had all those conversations.
That's very good. It's very good because children these days are learning quicker than how they learned when we were growing up
Yeah, yeah,
and getting puberty early.
yeah. But I
Uh,
always have to tell her, you can talk to mommy about anything. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a question, if you don't know, I always tell her, if you don't know something, you ask. Doesn't matter what it is. There's no question there are no dumb questions. There are no stupid questions. No. If you have a question, you ask mommy or daddy, and if we don't have the answer, we'll get one for you.
right. Let me ask you this. What are the some positive and unique qualities your child with autism possesses?
She can
Like
draw anything.
it says, like focusing on the child's strength and positive quality to help shift the conversations toward more optimistic perspective,
She can
basically.
draw anything. Nobody ever told her to draw. Charlie can draw anything you show her. And
Wow.
she speaks so eloquently. She doesn't have, how some children from a young age they have a stutter or a lisp. Her voice is so beautiful to me. I love to hear her speak, and she pronounces and enunciates her words like her mother.
Xavier, she says, Xavier.
And she gets it right.
Right. Because it's funny when I met you 8 years ago.
Mhm,
8 years ago, when I that's when I came to do your hair,
mhm,
no, to start her hair.
mhm,
I said to her, "My name is Xavier." I
mhm.
was shocked that she said it so clearly because most people mess it up.
Not Charlie.
She said, "Hey, Xavier." I said, "Okay, she my friend," and I'm very grateful for her. Because the other day when you showed me the picture, I said, "Oh my God, she grown.
Yes, yeah, she is as tall as I am. Her locks are
She's
almost as long as mine.
12, but she looked like she's like 15, 16."
I know. Don't tell. Shh. Don't let her get
Don't
it.
tell her that. I'm gonna come see her soon. I'm gonna say, "Hey, girl."
She's still Charlie's not your typical 12-year-old. She still plays with doll babies. And of course, if she's not with me or Charles, she didn't go anywhere. That's one thing that I have never um gotten into. I never been one to just leave her with this one and that one. I only trust her with my brother. So,
Right.
when he's not here, she's with me and Charles. When she's down south, she's with my brother. Not even my sisters. I love my sisters, but um I think that you have to be cautious who your children are around. And I know my sister would never allow anything to happen to Charlie, but it's not my sister. I have to worry about the people that her children have around. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So,
That's important.
yeah. And making
Um,
friends is hard for them too. They don't make friends very easily. It's kind of hard for them to make friends.
but she gonna find someone. You
Yeah,
never know. One day, Charles gonna say, she gonna say, "Daddy, this is my." I don't know how he gonna how she gonna say it, but she said, "Daddy, this is my boyfriend."
it's not gonna be a good day.
No, because I can't imagine.
My brother swears out now. He's like, Charlie's not gonna have boyfriends. He's like, my sons are gonna beat anybody she likes up. I'm like, you can't do that to her. He's like, tell me I can. I'm her uncle. I can do what I want to do. And knowing my brother, he'll do something like that.
I know. I can imagine.
Everybody's baby.
One more thing. It says, how can friends and family be best support you and your child, understanding the mother's needs, support, and system, and the broader social network?
Study. You have to study and read and study because they don't. There's not a lot. You'd be surprised the information that they do have about autism because every child is unique. What's on the autism spectrum may not fit your child, but your child still has autism. So you have to research and search out for yourself. Charlie's only thing that most autistic children have is her eating habits. She has bad eating habits and the moods, but everything else, she can do what you and I can do.
Right.
So you just have to read and study and look for the things that are for your child because all kids are different. That's why they fall in different places on the spectrum.
Right. So what do you do for a support system for yourself? I know you're doing this for your daughter, but what is your support system that keeps you on a daily basis?
My husband and God. Yeah, that's the difference. I pray a lot. I bite my tongue a lot because I beat myself up a lot because there are days when I don't feel like I'm doing enough for her. I feel like I should be doing more. But I think that's a mother because I know what she's capable of, and I just want to make sure. Well, do I need to give her a little bit more of this? I need to give her a little
Right.
bit more of that. I'm trying to get her out of the shell that she's in now. I want her to go and she wanted to do ice skating, but she's changed her mind. And I'm like, okay, we got to find something. Dance. I got to get her into something because
If she want to go ice skate, I know how to ice skate. I'll go with her. It's Aquarius thing. Our birthday coming.
well, she had mentioned it. She didn't ask my brother for the skates, so I don't know. I'm gonna see where she falls on that because I want her to be into something, African dance, something, because just school is not enough. She needs an outlet, besides just going to the park or whatever have you. I want her to do something different.
That's good. The
Yeah,
ice skating might be better, or something to gravitate her, or even go into music class. You
yeah.
thought about music class?
We did a music class a couple of years ago. They had a program, and she outgrew the program. So I'm gonna look for a new one coming up January. You just have to find different things. And Charlie's the type of kid. I've been told not to put her in special classes, so don't put her in classes that are just for special kids.
Right,
She can go into regular classes and be fine because she knows how
right,
to follow directions.
right.
So she took Taekwondo for a while, and then one day she decided, mommy, I want to do this because she had to be quiet. She probably went to social kids. She's like, all this instruction, all I can do is be quiet and, with my hands and my feet. She's like, I don't like it no more. So, try
She
different
just
things.
has to find that niche.
That's for
Like
her.
like I used to take vocal. I used to take vocal class. I used to take piano lessons. If I at some point, maybe 56, 57, I'm gonna find me a music. I want a baby grand piano, and I want to learn how to play again.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I'm so grateful that you opened your heart and your family to let me interview you about autism because
Definitely.
it's very needed to know what to look for,
Yeah.
and you have to also be an activist
Yeah.
for your and fight for your child.
Yeah. You have to start with the diagnosis, and that starts with your pediatrician. You start there first, and from there, you go to specialists, neurologists, and you keep it moving.
Do you find parents that might be dealing with it as similar to what you're dealing with don't fight for their children?
Yes, I do. I've seen them in the doctor's offices, and I don't know what would possess a parent not to want to fight for their child, but some of us have blinders. A lot of people have issues, except not my kid. And
Hmm.
again, a disability is a disability. We all have them. We just don't all get treated for it.
Right.
You know.
So thank you so much, Kimberly. I appreciate it. Giving me your little testimony. I'm gonna come hang out with you and Charlie soon.
Come on.
But thank you everyone for tuning in to Xavier's Journey. I'm always trying to get some good topics to bring in to educate us.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that Miss Newton came on and shared her little testimony about her daughter, and she's still going to be a fighter for her daughter. So
Definitely.
everyone, thank you. Until next time, have a great and wonderful night, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
Have a good evening, guys. Take care.
Thank you again.
You're welcome, Xavier.
You're welcome. Hold on.